Welcome to the show, everyone. We are glad you came and are here to talk a little bit about real estate with some of the best people in the business. On the show today, we have me, we have Sandra, we have John, and we also have Don Geisler, who is the designated broker and owner of our real estate company, Indie Realty. And later on, we're going to have Rigo RC from Rigo Pest Prevention. I think I'm losing my mind. I can't think right now.
I think he is too. I'm just going to jump in here.
Yeah, when you just stopped, I thought all my equipment went dead. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I was thinking like, how do I want to say it all? I was trying to be all eloquent and have some good words.
I think it was
I'll
great.
just speak.
I thought you did a great job.
How you doing today, Don?
Doing awesome, Raymond. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's one of my most fun days of the month, for sure.
Before we get started for all the good stuff, I want to talk about one good thing about the client appreciation that we're having coming up. You want to talk a little bit about that?
We do have an event going on at our new office at 7255 East Tanque Verde Road. And we are inviting folks to come out and, just kind of see the place. And we've had our agents have the opportunity to go ahead and reach out and invite people that are close to them, people that are near and dear to them, to come out and just check us out and become part of the neighborhood, part of the community. So looking forward to that very much.
It's a great facility. I can't wait till everybody get a chance to see it. It's really beautiful, and we'd love to take you around, let you see what it's like, and hopefully after seeing the building, you realize that we're ready to go, and we're a great real estate agency.
Yeah, I drove by yesterday, actually. I went to my favorite real estate agent's house and had dinner, and I saw the beautiful sign, the beautiful building. Like, definitely I'm excited. I got the invitation to come get, what's the sweet potato pie? What is it?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's probably going to be pumpkin. You
Pumpkin
call
pie.
it
Oh,
whatever you'd like, John. You call it whatever you
my
want.
wife likes the sweet potato pie. My kids like the pumpkin pie. I don't like either, but I'll come get one.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be there for the pumpkin pie. But it's a beautiful sign, beautiful place. So I'm really excited to see inside myself for sure.
Come on in anytime.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So I asked Don to talk to us a little bit today about just a look back over the year. This is the last time for 2022 that we're going to have Don in the studio. So kind of talk about, which means we have an exciting 2023 to look forward to. But let's talk about kind of a look at the past year, which has been a crazy year.
Yeah, it has been a crazy year, but in a lot of ways, it's been kind of simple.
Mm-hmm.
That the first, through May into June, we were sort of really reflecting 2021 very closely, which was overheated, superheated market, a little lean on inventory, everything selling the minute it went on the market. And then, really it kind of slowed down and took a breath, come June, come July. And it really was palpable. I mean, it was, for me, not really alarming. We saw inflation take over the news.
Right.
There are certain things in our industry, in the real estate industry, that can take over the news cycle that you can be assured has an effect on people's psyche and does permeate into the business and into the market. But we got kind of very swept up in the interest rates raising a lot, inflation being very seemingly out of control, a war going on overseas.
I had forgotten that really did consume a lot of people's time and thoughts.
It really did.
And you also have to look at the stock market too, because it kind of has done the same thing real estate has done, just not known how to respond to what's going on out there.
Yeah, and the stock market becomes very volatile and rates become volatile. And, so really the market definitely took a breath and slowed down. And then there's a couple other factors that are normal, but then kind of exacerbate everything, which is that, we had the election going on. And so used to be, every 4-year election really affected the real estate market in the later part of that year. And now just things have changed with everybody's connectivity in the world. Everybody's very interested in 2-year elections now, and they've become a thing that people, stop what they're doing and become involved in. So, had an election season going on, and then that has just kind of lent itself into now the holiday season. So we typically have a little bit of a holiday slowdown while people take a breath, get interested in other things. And we've just sort of seen all of it sort of blend into. But the good news is, even though we feel like we're in a holiday, quote unquote, slowdown type of time, people are focused on real estate still. We're having lots of conversations. We're answering lots of questions. We're having lots of people say after the first of the year, we're getting back into it. And, by then, hopefully inflation will start to become under control, or at least become part of the norm, which we could talk about a little bit, but the election, even though elections are never over anymore, but the actual election itself will be behind us, and people will tend to refocus back on what they're trying to accomplish in their life, which is really good. Really good when the people that we serve peel their eyeballs off of the clickbait and get back to real life. It's good stuff.
I will say, when I was first stepping into the industry, the training that I received from the person that hired me was, we work all the holidays. Everybody else takes them off, we work. But when it came to the election year, it was like go on vacation. Nobody wants to be here as we get closer and closer to the elections. And if your signs are out, they're just going to be amongst the hundreds of other signs. So it's a great time to go on vacation.
Interesting.
And nothing makes your phone ring more than going on vacation. So
it's so true. It's so true. But yeah, I mean, the election phenomenon, it's always interesting that running up to the election, all of a sudden people's attention kind of turned toward it. And, half the people say, if it ends this way, I would never buy a house. And the other half say, well, if it ends this way, I would never buy a house.
Right.
So everybody takes a breath, and whatever happens. And then pretty quickly everybody says, I think I'll get back to my life now. And it's really good when that happens. And we're there, and we spend a lot of time and effort with our outreach.
Right.
Reaching out to the people that we know, reaching out to the community, letting people know we're here when you're ready. We're always ready to answer questions, and we'll guide you through there's nothing out there that we can't guide people through. I mean, we have seen it all.
Well, I have a teaser question, and maybe we'll have you answer coming out of the break. What are something that buyers can expect, and even sellers can expect, from the market now that election has happened? Things will probably be calming down. What can they expect from the market, and what should they do as a response to it? And we got probably about 20 seconds till we go in the break. So I guess you can give maybe a teaser answer before we go into it.
Say nothing.
All right. Well, the boss has spoken, so y'all get nothing. No, there's a lot. I mean, we've been talking about just shifting mindsets, and I'm a real big mindset guy, and I don't like the bingo. I won't repeat certain words, that rhyme with shifting or are synonyms for shifting.
Right.
But mindset is something that needs to change. And we'll talk a little bit about mindset because I think it's important.
Okay, let's go ahead to the break. We are here with Don Geisler, who is our owner and designated broker
Joker.
for Indie Realty. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us today. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show on KVOA 1030 AM. We'll be back after the break, everyone.
I Am Real Estate Show, brought to you by Ray Smith and Sandra Johnson with Indie Realty.
We're back to the show. In case you were wondering, you are not listening to KVOA. You're listening to KVOI. My wife was nice enough to remind me. I didn't know what my alphabets are. So we're back on the show. You're listening to the I Am Real Estate Show with Sandra, Ray, and John. And we also have our designated broker, Don Geisler, who is the president of Indie Realty. We were talking about expectations from the market, and you gave a teaser beforehand. If you want to go ahead and elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what's important is to not buy into misconceptions. I mean, nothing has changed 180 degrees. And so I think that buyers, we still need to be realistic that, there is more inventory on the market. Houses do take a little bit longer to sell, but we're not in the fire sale scenario. Sellers still have expectations that they're going to get the price that they want. And we have to, it's a negotiation process. It really is. And so, I think that setting expectations, having the right expectation that it is still a process, that home prices have not plummeted,
Right.
And that there's a process that we have to go through. And, for sellers, we have to negotiate up front. And I see articles that say sellers should be, have the expectation to continue to negotiate through the process as we get through inspections and repairs and stuff like that. So, just being prepared for the normal process and don't think that something has changed or a pendulum has massively swung in one direction or the other.
I think it's to remind everybody that it's a team going through this, and we're always looking for the win-win situation, win-win scenario. I think most time people realize at this time the seller think, I got to win, or the buyer think I got to win. When we go into any transaction, me and my wife, we're always looking to find a way, what is the best way that everybody wins, win-win. A win-win situation is good for everybody, because afterwards, they are your clients after this. So you got to remember that. They're going to be your friends. They're going to be the people you rely on after that.
I agree. I think that, if you're going into a transaction looking to take advantage of someone and for you to come out on top, it's just not the kind of transaction that we're looking for. We really want, if somebody wants to buy a house, somebody wants to sell a house, we're looking for a scenario where both people get what they need.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it can be a real eye-opening process in that, I don't think either side can really be bullied at the moment. And I don't ever think that a bully mindset is beneficial in any phase of life, to be honest with you. But there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be processes along the way that we have to get through. And it is not a one-sided deal. It is not a one-sided deal. And so, I think that the greatest agents understand that and say what you're saying, that we look for a win-win. We advocate for our clients, of course, but there are win-win scenarios, and everything does not have to be super adversarial.
Right.
And again, set the right expectations.
And I think they need to realize that we do advocate. If you're our buyer, we're going to advocate to make sure that you're always in the best situation. It's all about the thing I kind of remember about is that they still have to make a decision. You, as our client, you get to make the final decision whether you like or dislike. And you've taught us that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so I do want to kind of talk a little bit. I was reading an article today about interest rates because, interest rates are the one buzzword that do tend to have an impact on a market. They are the things out there that people start talking about, and right or wrong, you do see them actually impact activity in the market. And, so they're significantly up over where they were 2021. But they're a little bit less volatile right now. Rates have been very volatile, but I just read an article and literally the article said interest rates may cool off and sit still for a while in December, and they may even go down. And then by the end of the article, it said, or they may go up. So, so you don't really know. I mean, I think there are a lot of factors, and there's a lot that goes into why interest rates are where they are right now. But one of the things I want to point out to people is, yes, they're still historically good. That doesn't matter if you're not getting a payment that you don't like. But I really, when we talk about mindset, would love for everybody to think about when you're making an investment in your home. There are certain markets where you're like, I'm looking to buy a home, and it's not a piggy bank, it's not an ATM, it's where I'm going to, live my life. And we can still get that accomplished for you. And rates right now they're not as low as they were, but they're still very, very good in the context of what we do. And also, rates are not permanent. Nothing is permanent, and things are always very, very cyclical. And there's always a refi boom that follows when the rates go up. Rates will inevitably, potentially, I shouldn't say inevitably, but they can come back down. And so there's lots of things that we can do with rates. And even right up front when you're in your transaction, there's lots of tricks that we can do with rates to help you out if we have, lenders that know what they're doing and have the appropriate programs. So don't want anybody to be scared off and just shut down, because we can talk anybody through almost any situation.
Overview of the market you were talking about.
Yeah, the overview of kind of what the past year has looked like. I know we're not seeing a huge dip in pricing.
No. And when I talk about having the right expectations, I think that's important that prices are not expected to dip. Most analysts are saying that appreciation will still continue, just at a much slower rate.
Right.
That is not synonymous with a dip or a crash or a bubble or anything like that. So, it's like I said, for us in the industry, January 1st is always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In that right now it just feels calm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting calm in that, for me, it just feels like our normal holiday season as far as the real estate market goes. None of our lives are calm right now, but the market just seems calm. It's not a panic. It's not off a cliff. It hasn't stopped. It's just in kind of it feels like it's in its normal cyclical breath.
Right.
And January 1st, we're expecting lots of activity, lots of great things, and then we ramp up. We really kick off New Year January 1st as far as the real estate market goes, and I think we're gonna have a really good late winter and spring.
Can the numbers that you're looking at right now, talking about 2022, give us any kind of idea what we can expect in 2023? The numbers seem to be so different from January to June and from July to December.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that nobody has a crystal ball. Just like I told you about the article where it says rates may stabilize. And so they may go down, they may stay, or they may go up. So, yeah, well, thanks for that. That was good. So I don't think that there's a predictor because there was just so much unprecedented stuff at once.
Right.
And I just mean all these different factors giving people a lack of confidence at the same time. Inflation, war, everything, gas price. I mean, just
gas.
There's
my gosh.
so much.
We're not even talking about gas prices.
Yeah, and then the election.
We
So, in my opinion, things should trend up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, something giant in the country and the world can happen tomorrow for all we know. But
Sure.
there were just a lot of factors that really do lend themselves to cooling off the market a little bit. So, and some of them, like I said, are in the rearview mirror. The election is over. It may meant to be done, but it's over. The inflation is starting to, theoretically, I'm reading, come down a little bit more.
Good.
And it's a new norm where people get used to, prices are higher and that's just the new norm,
Right.
so.
Well, hey, are you still looking for good agents?
Oh gosh, we're always looking for great agents at Indie Realty. So you can always reach me, Don Geisler, 520-869-2376. We're very proud. John, thank you so much for mentioning the office. Feel free to stop by 7255 East Tanca Verde Road. And we've got a great model going.
Thanks, boss, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Well, on the other side, we'll have Rigo RC from Rigo Pest Prevention. Talk to you in a little bit.